a movie about a killer Siri or Alexa app and has filmed about 80% in blue lighting. We watched Bedeviled. We watch it so you don't have to, so you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Welcome to Horrible Horror Podcast, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. I'm your host, Mr. Marshall Hampton. With me, as always, is my co-host, my buddy, Mr. Aaron Southworth. Aaron, say hello.
Hey, everybody.
Aaron's full of it today.
You are full of it. Jesus, you're like channeling The Rock or something. I don't know what that was, but
I don't know.
I figured I'd be...
I don't know what I just decided. You know what? Fuck. I just went with it halfway through this.
I figured I'd be the yin to your yang. The calming yin to your raging yang.
I don't know about raging, but
Because that was a pretty raging intro. But hi, everybody out
to a
there.
movie that does not deserve it.
Oh, this is something.
Anyway, this week's movie is Bedeviled. Before we do that, I first want to send a shout out. I can't talk to Katie O'Brien. This was her suggestion for a movie for us. She emailed us at sobadatscary@gmail.com through our website, and this was her suggestion. So, Katie,
Thanks for listening, Katie.
thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening, Katie.
Thanks for your suggestion. We
took it
found
under.
it.
We did it. We're doing it. We're doing it right now. And if anybody else wants to do any suggestions or anything, of course, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, social, or Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @SoBadIt'sScary. We're on all the platforms. We're pretty much everywhere. And like Marshall said, send us an email or check out our website, horriblehorrorpodcast.com.
That is correct. All right, moving on. Once again, you listen to the last few weeks, you're probably getting sick of this, but you're gonna get real sick of it. But we're gonna do it every week. We are plugging CreepyCon
Because we are going to party hardy.
Oh!
Yeah. Going to party hardy in Knoxville, Tennessee.
Knoxville,
August 23rd through 25th. We will be at CreepyCon 2019.
19.
And it should be a good time. So
Good
put
times.
it on your calendar. Mark it down. Come on down.
Mark it down.
If you're going to come on west, come on west.
Come on
east,
west.
Come on south.
Come on east,
north.
east, south. I don't know what
From
the
the
hell I'm
north
doing.
to
Keep
the
going.
east to the west to the south. Put it all together and it spells news. That's an old dirty bastard lyric right there. Oh, man.
All right, moving right on to Bedeviled. This movie was released on October 22nd of 2016.
So relatively new.
Relatively, sort of.
So
yeah.
this is
For 3 years.
This
Coming
is
up on
definitely
3 years.
Well, this is like it definitely falls under a specific generation. I
It's
think.
definitely a millennial horror movie.
Yeah, and that's fine. You know, that's fine. But and there goes that demographic.
That's the millennial demographic. Yeah. Sorry, all you millennials. No, just this type of movie. That's what that was.
I have hope for you guys to come out with some good ones, but so far we've had some.
The problem is it's not so much the people in it. It's written and directed by the Vang brothers, V-A-N-G, Vang brothers. So I don't know if they're millennials or what they're the blame for this. They're the ones who are ultimately to blame for this.
Ultimately to blame.
Writers, directors, and if you're pulling double duty, then it's 100% on you.
Written, directed, and produced, I believe.
Yep.
Partially produced. Yeah.
Yes.
So they had all their fingers in this.
Yep. All the fingers and them toes. You can find this turd of a movie on Amazon Tubi,
Tell us how you really feel.
which is kind of hard. Like I've never heard of it. Now I'm seeing it pop up a lot of places now.
So Nachos McWerewolf,
Nachos!
friend of the show,
Friend
he
of the
was on the episode with which episode did we do? It was just 2 episodes
Lake
ago.
Fear 3.
Thank you, Lake Fear 3. But he said that he's been using the Tubi a lot.
All right. So maybe I have to check out Tubi. I don't know. I just don't want another fucking subscription service like Hulu and Netflix and Amazon Prime and my Shudder account.
I mean, the whole reason you cut the cord for cable was to get just what you want. And now you're getting it, but now they're starting to split into smaller splinter factions. Like you heard about how The Office and Friends, Netflix is biggest shows, the most watched shows.
Yeah, they're taking Office off. I heard that. I didn't know about
but not
Friends.
until 2021.
Still, but they're still taking it off.
Because NBC is going to start, pardon me, Disney. In Disney Universal,
yeah.
I don't know if it has something to do with like...
Is it Disney? I know, yeah, Disney's starting their own streaming service, which I'm going to fucking get. I know I will, because they're going to have original Star Wars shows and Marvel. So I'm like, well, take all my money right now, Disney.
And you have a kid.
And well,
yeah, and your kid's gonna want to watch Disney. Yeah,
I didn't care about the kid. That
think about me.
Yeah, that's all about Star Wars and Marvel Universe right here.
What about me? What about Marshall?
Yeah, she's got enough shit already. No, but yeah, okay. But yeah, just there's so much. Like I'm gonna end up paying the same amount for these streaming services I would for cable down the road.
It's starting to add up.
Yeah,
like
$10 a month, but times 5 different services. And okay, now I'm paying $50 a month for 5 different.
Well, here's something that ties into the horror genre. Also, is that Twin Peaks season 3 came out, and that was the one that was 25 years later. And I was a big Twin Peaks fan.
Yes.
And I was like, holy shit, Twin Peaks is coming back. David Lynch is doing it on Showtime streaming. Well, fuck. I don't have Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want Showtime.
Mm-hmm.
I don't give a damn about Showtime. Showtime shows boxing. I can watch boxing clips. That's the only other thing I'd want.
Boxing sucks. I
just like fight stuff.
I've said before. I don't know how boxing's still a thing with MMA now. Like I don't know how boxing's still alive.
Anyway, Twin Peaks. I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get it. It was $11 a month. Don't pardon me, $11.99. So it's $12 a month on top of my Hulu subscription, on top of my Netflix subscription. And again, I'm a fight guy, so on top of my UFC subscription, I'm like, Jesus Christ, this stuff is adding up.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm the asshole who gets the free trial and then forgets to cancel. And I'm like, well, I guess I got it now. My wife finally made me cancel it. So.
Yeah, those free trials. That's what.
But I guess what I'm trying to say is it just all starts adding up.
Yeah, it's just
so
too much. Too much. So back to Bedeviled. Let's talk about the cast real quick.
We do not want to do this movie.
Really, yeah.
We're talking about everything else.
Let's find every excuse not to talk about this movie. All right, so our lead girl is Alice. She's played by Saxon Sarbino.
I thought that was Lindsay Lohan.
There's, you know what's funny? There's a part later in the movie. I was like, the way she's talking and her like cadence, the way she's talking. I was like, she sounds so much like Lindsay Lohan right now.
She looks like the young, beachy.
She looks. I will say this girl is super hot. In my opinion. She is beautiful girl, great vibe, great face, really pretty. Really liked her. I had no problem with her in the movie. Really, she's only got 19 credits in her name. She was in 9 episodes of a TV show called Freakish, and she was in the 2015 Poltergeist remake, not Poultrygeist, and the 2010 remake of I Spit on Your Grave. So she has some horror chops in her background.
Right on.
Dan is played by Brandon Suho, Asian fella, and he's got 32 credits. He was Tran, which is the kid in the Flaming Dragon compound in Tropic Thunder.
Yes.
He was that little kid.
The one who loves Simple Jack.
Yeah. He was also...
I'm sorry. I'm just seeing Tropic Thunder now and I'm loving it. You never go full retard. Oh!
He was also young Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe: Rise of Cobra,
Huh.
and he does the voice of Beast Boy in Justice League vs. Teen Titans and Teen Titans: The Judas Contract. My kid's a huge Teen Titans Go fan, so if we know all about Beast Boy and that. Let's see, Gavin's played by Carson Boatman. He's got 9 credits, including his very first role was in Devilish Charm, which is a David DiCaprio joint, which sadly I have seen. Because I was like, oh, maybe this will be for the show, and it could easily be. It fucking sucks. Anyway, and then we have Nikki, played by Alexis G. Zoll. She's got 40 credits. She's probably the most experienced person in the cast, and she's in it the shortest amount of time. She was one of the girls who played Jackie Geary, Adam's girlfriend on the hit show The Goldbergs. She's the newest version of Jackie. She does the voice of Lois Lane in DC Superhero Girls and the Superhero High stuff, cartoons and movies, which again, my daughter loves those. And she's also in Ouija, Origin of Evil, so she does have some horror background as well.
Yeah.
And that's really all we're going to mention about the cast. So, here we go with Bedeviled.
Hold on. Oh, God, my burps get trapped down here. I'm about to let off a nice one. I'm waiting for you to finish, and then just... it's gone. And now I just feel gassy.
Well, I'm sure the listeners are glad that's gone. They don't oh, there it is.
There it is.
That's,
Jesus.
That's music in the ears.
All right. Well, hey, I did it away from from the microphone.
Right, but I'm
microphone adjacent.
Microphone adjacent, but I'm the one sitting here with headphones.
And you gotta smell it.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I do not have to smell it. Anyway.
No, that's right. You can't smell anything. Let's laugh at Marshall's disability. He can't smell anything now.
That's one more thing. We push the movie back. So the movie.
Okay, the movie. Here we go.
We open with a shot of a broken cell phone. The camera pans up and over to Nikki, who is sitting in her dark bedroom, just kind of staring at a wall or out the window. Her mom comes in, tries to talk to her, but Nikki, like I said, just sits there in like this trance-like state. Her mom leaves. And
the room's completely dark. And she's like, hey, honey, you've been in here for days.
Something like that.
Well, all right, well, we're leaving.
Yeah, bye.
Great parenting right there.
The mom leaves, and then we see a shadowy figure dart across the room behind Nikki. She gets up at this point, starts to wander around her house in the dark. And when I say in the dark, I mean everything is covered in a blue filter. There is so much blue lighting in this film that it would make Eiffel 65 lose its goddamn mind.
I knew you were going to drop an Eiffel 65 reference as soon as you said, there's so much blue. I'm like, he's going there.
You know what's coming next.
I know where you're going, baby.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and outside. Blew his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette. And everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around. Cause he ain't got nobody to listen. I'm blue, I've been need, I've been died, 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 I've been need, I've been died. I'm blue, I've been need, I've been died, 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 I've been need, I've been died.
So, yeah, dance break, blue dance break for everybody there.
You're going to need the energy to get through this.
Yeah, I gotta get my energy up. So Mickey makes her way into her kitchen where a tiny toy car comes rolling out of the darkness, stopping at her feet. She looks up and sees an overly elongated person rise up from the shadows who also has like elongated fingers and like really distorted body appendages.
It's in the shadow. It's kind of rising up from the table, like
it's rising up from the
inflatable arm tube man.
It kind of is rising, like a very slow motion rise of that
spooky version.
We never get a clear shot of
exactly what it looks like.
Yeah, of what it looks like.
But I thought it looked kind of cool. I didn't hate it.
I will say that I didn't hate it. I agree. I'm with you on that one. It does give Nikki like an evil toothy grin. You see it from like the chin to like the tip of the nose,
right?
So the mouth area. She screams, runs away back upstairs. Now instead of running through the door or hiding somewhere, she decides to just stop at the end of the hallway and stand there. She turns around and sees the hallway is empty behind her, but then she sees the contorted shadow of this thing turning the corner and it comes charging at her like just a fucking bull, and it's like just run.
Yeah.
Again, instead of quickly opening and closing the door, which she's standing right in front of, she just stands there and screams as this thing barrels down the hallway, charging at her. The camera switches to a POV shot of the creature thing, wherever charging her, and Nikki screaming, cut, and that's it. And then we cut away to Nikki's house post Nikki's funeral.
Yeah, so then it's hard cut. Bam!
Yeah.
Hard cut. Now it's daytime. There's a wake going on. They show pictures of her. So obviously Nikki fucking bought the farm. So that's where we are. So that's how the movie starts.
And so at this funeral scene, we meet the rest of her friend. We meet her friends and family.
Her posse, if you will.
And we meet our main girl Alice and the rest of our main cast of run-of-the-mill characters. There's nothing special about any of these people.
One used to be emo, which I think they say.
I will say, okay, we already commented Alice is a good-looking girl, and so is Haley for that matter. The girls are pretty good-looking.
I mean, they're all good-looking people, you know.
For the most, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, Clay's good-looking, and the Aiden or whatever their fucking names are. They all just like stock good-looking people that are like look like them past for teenagers.
Yeah, and we learned that Nikki and Cody, the black guy, were dating, that they were kind of a thing. And now the film starts jumping around a lot. It goes from like scene to scene to scene to scene. And so we're just jumping to the group seen around some bar now or restaurant, even though they're like high school kids.
Well,
but they're in a bar.
And I kind of thought about that too. I was like, what the fuck? But at the same time, they have no, lots of times in small towns, bar restaurants.
Yeah.
It's a bar restaurant.
They're just around talking about Nikki. Like I said, but the scene, it's not really talking about because it's over so fast. Like, what's the point? It's like a 5-second, 10-second scene. Like, it's really short and like just.
Yeah, they're trying to build substance, I believe, to the characters. Talking about how Nikki was so cool, blah blah blah. Now, the only thing that I'm going to mention about this scene that you can possibly take away is that they put all their phones in the middle of the table, right? And one of her phones jingles, and the girl. And not our main character, but the other one. I never remember their fucking names. Haley. Haley grabs her phone, and they all go, first one to touch their phone has to pay for the bill.
Yeah.
And so they kind of joke about that. So right off the bat, they're kind of already leaning towards a big theme of the movie, which is reliance on technology and reliance on your phone.
Problem is, it's not even technology. It's cell phones.
Yeah.
It's it's
our addiction to cell phones.
It's a millennial's addiction to cell phones. Not even technology. Because
you're right. Okay,
it's just cell phones.
Cell phones, yes.
We cut to Gavin walking Alice home. They kiss. So now, so Gavin and Alice are a thing now. He leaves. In the kitchen, Alice finds dinner that was left for her on the counter from her mom. And then her cell phone beeps, and she notices that she has an invitation from Nikki to download and use an app called Mr. Bedevil. Which I think is weird. Like, is that a thing? Because I've never get an invitation for people to say, hey, join. Like, not, I'll get a text. Hey, you should, do you have this app? Like, you send me all the time, like the money apps. Like, hey, do you have that money app to transfer money? And like, no, I don't have it. But I don't get it, like, the app itself saying, hey, so-and-so invited you to join this app.
I did for games. But it was like, just, if you had push notifications, it'd be like, hey, Johnny's playing Words with Friends. Why don't you play Words with Friends with Johnny? Because they have access to Johnny's Facebook group or Facebook friends, and they send it to all the Facebook friends.
I will correct
so
you. Yeah.
Shit
with
like
that one, yeah.
I
would get
with
games.
Game invites. So but they explain it very well. It's like this stuff can happen. So I was okay with it.
Okay. So anyway, at the same time, she gets a quick call from Cody, who says he also got the same app invite. So of course Alice downloads the app and
right off the bat, Cody's kind of our tech guy.
Yeah, he's the kind of a tech nerd. He's like I don't know.
He knows about how
coding
to
and
get
stuff.
it.
Like
I don't think I've ever heard the term firmware more in my life until this fucking movie.
Yeah, they love to throw around firmware.
They were throwing around the term firmware.
So yeah, Alice downloads the app, and it's basically a Siri app. It's a Siri Alexa app.
Interactive AI app.
Yeah, And so we see the graphic for the app is like a silhouette of a man wearing a red bow tie against a blue background. That's
kind of like a modern day, hey Jeeves. If anybody remembers that search engine.
He's hipster
Dude, Hey Jeeves was basically...
Ask Jeeves.
Ask Jeeves. And you would ask Jeeves, and then Jeeves would go to Google and be like, type in the question to Google. What a fucking ripoff.
Lazy fucking butler.
What? He's the middleman for Google. What a dick.
And they wonder why he wasn't around very long. Anybody out there actually remember Ask Jeeves? That, some younger listeners might not even know what the hell that is.
It was a very short-lived search engine.
Back in like early 2000s, I think.
Yeah, Netscape is way better.
Yeah. Remember Netscape before that. Anyway, we really don't want to talk about this movie.
Netscape or was it?
Netscape was a search engine, like
Netscape,
Safari or
yes,
Google.
Netscape was Netscape wasn't bad. Netscape wasn't too bad. But hey, Jeeves,
Internet Explorer, yeah. Jeeves was like, I don't think it was actually a search engine. I think it was just like
no, it was a search engine because Yahoo started off as a search engine also, but then it still technically is, but it evolved also down to just like this media platform.
Okay,
but that's what Jeeves was trying to be, but it was
so bad. Anyway, so Alice and Mr. Bedevil, they talk a bit. He says his main function is to provide companionship for his users, among many other things. Alice gets a knock on her door, which seems to scare her. So instead of opening it, she runs and hides behind her bed in her bedroom upstairs. The bedroom door opens. She screams, but turns out it's just her mom coming home. Mom and Alice lie in bed talking. It's fucking boring. We're skipping it.
Yeah.
But there's still so much blue lighting. So that means blue dance break.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, 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 I've been deed, I've been died.
So the next morning, Alice wakes up, and while she's brushing her teeth...
So during that scene, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention because I'm not paying attention to this movie. Did you mention this is where she talked to her mom saying that she was scared of her grandma?
No, I mean, yes, this is where it
That's the
mentions, but it's
only
like, but
thing
it's
to
so,
take
I
away
was so bored. I'm like, ugh.
I know, but we still got to take away parts that, you know, are pivotal to the plot. She does talk about how her grandma used to give her the creeps because she had Alzheimer's and was a fucking weirdo. And yeah, when you're a young kid and you meet your grandmother or great-grandmother, you're not meeting them at their best point in life. Dementia could be a motherfucker where they're just going, fire, 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 or something weird like that, and moaning. Yeah, they can be creepy. So she just talks about how she's creeped out by grandma. That's all you need to take away from this scene.
Yeah, okay. Nah, you're right. I probably should have said it. Just otherwise.
I know.
Anyway, so Alice, next morning, she's brushing her teeth. She notices that she now has a small, light red, kind of almost birthmark-looking mark on her shoulder, the front of her shoulder.
You mean the V for Vendetta symbol?
Yeah, it basically is.
No, it's exactly it. Because I looked it up. I was like, what the fuck? That's V for Vendetta. And I looked it up, and I'm like, holy shit! They're ripping off the insignia from V for Vendetta.
This movie rips off a lot of stuff. There's a lot of things that this movie
V for
rips
Vendetta
off.
is an awesome movie.
The only difference is, I think, the placement of the circle is slightly different.
It's a fucking ripoff.
Yeah, it's a V within a circle, and it's also the logo for the Mr. Bedeviled app. That's what it boils down to.
It's a logo for
V for Vendetta. Yeah, but she has it on her front of her shoulder.
Yeah,
now.
she's like, what the fuck? You know, it's like burned into her skin almost.
Yeah. So we cut to the school where Dan and Gavin are asking Mr. Bedeviled about Bridget the Midget porn movies. Up comes Cody. Here we learn this is where we learn how he's the tech guy.
He's the tech guy.
Jump to Alice writing bad poetry in class while her teacher talks about fear and how people can die from fear and blah, blah, blah.
Here she talks about how the older teacher's hot.
Yeah, she gets text messages from Haley saying, I want to fuck the teacher.
Which never comes back up.
No, it doesn't.
It's like a 5-minute scene talking about how hot the teacher is. He's old, oh God. And never comes back.
And he's not even that old. He's like, they're supposed to be like 18. He's like, maybe late 20s, early 30s.
Oh no, dude, he's like 45.
Was he?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a different
He's old.
I didn't think he was that old, but okay.
No, we're old. He's older than us, so yeah, he's fucking old.
All right, well, I apologize then. I'm thinking of somebody else.
No worries.
But you know what? Speaking of ripping things off, this movie, this type of scene, you kind of see a lot now in horror movies. But I will always think of it. Always takes me back to the original Halloween, where Jamie Lee Curtis is sitting in the back of the classroom, kind of daydreaming, and the teacher's talking about, I think it's Frankenstein's monster, or the boogeyman, like this fear and all this and what it means. And now we get the same shit here, like fear, and we can die of fear, and it's the same thing.
It's hard to say that you're copying off of something that was around for 40 years.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely, you could say you're influenced by it.
Yeah.
Because
I'm not saying it's kind of, and I also get the it's hard to show kids, without having that comparison of kids in the classroom and trying to do this, but that's the kind of first. It always is the first thing that pops in my mind when I see these things.
I didn't mind it.
I'm not saying I mind it. It's the first thing that pops in my mind.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
We're talking about taking things from other movies.
Yeah,
this is another thing that popped in my head. Alice continues to write and do it on a notebook. She looks up. The camera zooms out, and we see that now she's sitting in an empty classroom. She looks around in confusion, then back at her notebook, and now she sees the Mr. Bedeviled V for Vendetta logo written in blood on her notebook page. She wakes back up in her normal class, freaked out. She just gets up, rushes out of the classroom. Haley follows her. They talk in a bathroom, and they hug it out. That's it. It doesn't fucking matter. Skipping ahead to Alice at home, she starts talking to Mr. Bedeviled again, which I'm going to get into it later. If I start doing it now, I'll overdo it. So I got stuff later on this.
Good self-control there, pal.
He asks if she believes in ghosts. She says, no, I don't. So he's like, hey, use your phone to look around the room. So she pans her phone around, and that's when she sees this Mr. Bedeviled demon, Slender Man-like creature waving at her through the patio door. She screams, drops the phone, and when she looks back up, it's gone. So that's all. Just a jump scare here. We cut to our main group hanging out, talking about the app, and Alice telling them what she saw. No one believes her at this point and blames it on missing Nikki and being emotional over Nikki's death. So again, say that's dime a dozen. Oh, nobody, see that shit all the time.
Yeah.
Now we go to our three main dudes in the locker room for some reason. I don't know why, because none of them play sports.
I think they just got done playing pickup basketball.
Maybe
that was the impression I got.
But it's like this. But you don't play pickup basketball in school.
I have no problem with this scene.
I'm not saying I probably just weird. Anyway, we find out that Dan and Haley are kind of a thing as well, like I said, but they're taking it slow. Dan and Cody leave. Gavin finds that he too now has a red mark on him as well.
He has the V for Vendetta tattoo as well.
Then Mr. Bedeviled starts talking to him. At this point, they should start thinking that something's up with this app and that something is not right, but they don't. Seriously, like, Siri, because they always like, oh, it's like a Siri app. They said Siri only talks to you when you speak to it.
Correct.
Siri never just starts talking to you on its own.
Hey, buddy, how's it going?
And never does she go into much detail about the environment that you're standing in, nor know as many details about you as this app does. But people are like, whatever. That's fine.
I don't try to penalize it too much for that, because that's the whole premise. It's the haunted app. So
but it's like people it just makes them look so stupid. It's like something's up. Maybe you should start picking this up faster.
Maybe because it's a dumb premise.
Maybe you're right.
I mean, we're getting off the phone. We're talking about a haunted app on your phone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. You are correct, sir. So Mr. Bedeviled and Gavin start talking about horror movies and Alice. Then Bedeviled talks about how he scared Alice last night. Now, again, maybe something's up here at this point. Gavin thinks this is a prank, gets pissed off, and says to Mr. Bedeviled that he's going to kick who's ever ass on the other side of this app.
I'm going to kick his ass. Such a young, brash American thing to say.
Yep, exactly.
I'm going to kick your ass.
I'm going to kick your ass, motherfucker. Hearing this in the background, on the Bedeviled, it goes from blue to red. He says, I'm going to kick your ass, Mr. Bedeviled. And so the background goes from blue to red now.
The voice starts getting distorted.
And it says something like, oh yeah, well, let's see how tough you are. And then Gavin starts to hear...
I do like Mr. Bedeviled, like, all right, calling his bluff.
He hears sounds of people fucking come from nearby. Like that's supposed to be scary. Like
it's this moaning sound.
It's like, I'm like, that's not scary. That's like, oh shit, something's getting it on.
But it ties into what happened earlier when we showed the three guys sitting around in the room looking at the computer. That's when you found out Cody's the tech guy.
Yeah.
There's a scene where...
there's looking at a computer screen.
Looking at a computer screen.
But that was confusing to me too, by the way, because what they're looking at is on the computer screen is like a black and white spiral spinning circle, like one of those like hypnotized things.
Right.
And I remember this was a big thing, like again, early mid 2000s, like stare at the screen, wait to the end,
and then look at your hand or look away
or something like that. But you just keep staring at it, and like, okay, I'm bored, and then all of a sudden like a demon face just pops up, screaming, rah! And you're like, oh god, that's a jump scare thing. But the weird thing about this is like during this whole time, it's just this black and white spiral circle, spiral. But then you have Gavin's looking at the computer, and then in the background behind him on the sofa is Cody on a phone, and you hear, you hear sex. I'm like, oh, okay, Gavin's watching porn on the phone while Cody's watching porn while Gavin's
watching the spinning screen, and there's sex noises. It's like, where are the sex noises coming from?
Exactly. Like,
but the sex noises, it's the same sex noises.
I get that, but it's not scary. And to try to relate that to this is a stretch, because
I knew exactly what it was. I was like, oh, well, now that scary face person is going to pop up now. But I made the association right away. Get with it, Marshall.
God damn it!
You just don't get millennials. You just don't get us, man. All right, you're just too old.
We put sex sounds on everything. I mean, that's just a thing. So so he's wandering around looking for the source of the fucking. He doesn't see anything. He looks up at one of those like rounded mirrors you kind of see in a gym locker, like in the corners of convenient markets.
Security mirrors, yeah.
Security mirrors. And he sees someone standing behind him in the mirror. When he spins around, there's nobody there. So he looks back into the mirror, and at this time he sees a creepy female clown in a nurse's uniform.
Right?
Which, again, is really weird, because I don't understand the clown. I don't get
the nurses.
Clown, or the nurse's uniform either.
Well, he says he's scared of clowns, so I get it. Okay, well, his fear is clowns. But the nurses...
but the nurse's outfit?
I don't get that at all.
Yeah, I don't get that either. So he spins back around and is face to face with a creepy nurse clown who laughs,
like screaming,
it's like a laugh scream in his face, and then just disappears, just vanishes. So now we cut to Cody riding home on a city bus. He has a conversation with a white lady about Negrophobia, which whatever. Not
The lady like clutches her pearls when she sees a black man.
Yeah.
In the city.
the
Jesus
city, on a
Christ.
bus.
He's like on the metro in the city. It's like, really, lady? If you're living in the city and you clutch your pearls at the side of a black man, it's like, you need to get the fuck out of that city then, because you're just gonna have a heart attack every time you turn around.
yeah.
I mean, I live in the city. You live outside the city, and yeah, there's black people everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the fucking city.
But it's just the scene. It's
because
like,
it's just normal.
like I don't understand the point of this scene. Like it's such the negrophobia and that's like okay, we're trying to like Cody's like are we trying to rise above racism or like this? It's just kind of I don't know if it's supposed to be preachy or pretentious or what. It's like there's really no
or whatever.
it's just no real point to this at all.
I was really hoping just to have Cody be Cody.
Yeah.
And not have anything to do with...
But then he gets preachy.
No, and that just... It does. Yeah, it kind of does. I mean, it's... I get it's part of the fucking times we live in, sure. But at the same time, I just watched a Night of the Living Dead documentary, 1968. You want to talk about, the times and civil rights and all that, all the craziness that was going on then. They made Night of the Living Dead with a black lead, and they didn't say anything about his race, anything
there was no social commentary in the movie at all.
I mean, but that's what made it so powerful, too. Because there was that's what made it so good, because no one cared that he was a black man slapping a white woman, which in 1968 was incredibly controversial. But it happened because he was just a guy trying to survive this thing. Here's a guy who's just trying to write and then all of a sudden it's just like, come on, man. I don't. Yeah, I get enough of it in real life.
It's so annoying.
I get enough of it in real life. I don't need it in my horror movies.
Yeah,
right
I
just want him to be I don't care.
Just let him be First of all, he's already the techie black guy, so that's also his already.
He's just a guy.
That's his unicorn.
He's the tech guy.
Black tech guy. So that's his unicorn. Whatever. So fine. So be it. But now they have to keep, slamming it down throat that he's not like the ghetto gangster black guy.
He's just a dude.
But it gets worse. Okay, the white lady comes in, sits down, and he clenches her bag a little tighter. He starts whistling Chopin, and she's like, "Oh, Chopin, I
like Chopin.
That's a great piece." He rambles out whatever movement or piece it is, and I'm like, "Okay, leave it there.
Yeah,
just leave it there, and that's fine." But no, they have to keep going. He has to go over to her now. Sit down and explain, well, I do this because it makes white people like you less nervous around me. And you know what? You're afraid of me, but I'm honestly more afraid of you white people hauling around those guns in your purses and blah, blah, blah. And I'm way afraid of cops. I'm like, are you really doing this Black Lives Matter bullshit now? And this is his big afraid. He's afraid of cops. That's I guess maybe the point of the scene is but that's how we get there. We have to have some white guilt or Black Lives Matter bullshit going into this scene.
It was ham-handed.
Yeah.
I don't mind getting there. It's the way you get there. I mean, I still think it's important to have some social commentary here and there. But I think it would have been more effective. I honestly think it would have been more effective if they wouldn't even touch it.
Just leave it at the Chopin thing and been fine. It gets that point just a little more subtly. But subtle is better at this when it comes to this type of stuff.
Exactly what I'm trying to say. Subtle is better.
Yeah. So,
instead of this ham-handed attempt at
and just force feeding it to you.
Yeah.
So time passes. Cody starts asking Mr. Bedeviled about finding him some food. Bedeviled tells Cody he's not his bitch, and that sorry that Cody's bitch is dead. So he's still not thinking anything's wrong with his app, but obviously something is. The app knows that Nikki's dead, and is cursing at you now. Also, it's kind of racist because the pizza's closed, Chinese closed, but there's some chicken and waffles open.
It's totally racist. Yeah.
So,
I mean, again, it's the.
But Cody's like, hey, all right, I can go for chicken and waffles, so he plays along with it. But whatever.
Again, it's that ham-handed attempt at
Cody gets off the bus, walks for a while. More blue lighting, some more blue dance party.
Oh, good God.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, 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 I've been deed, I've been died.
So at one point he spots someone standing he's going on an underpass or something, and there's some steps leading back up. So he sees someone on the steps, but you don't really see them from the waist down.
Yeah.
Because the top half's out of view.
I did again. I know you kind of harp on the details sometimes more than I do, but this was a detail that I thought was weird. He takes a bus
Yeah.
to a
Car garage. Yeah.
And then where's he supposed to go from there?
Yeah, I was really
how
confused.
far away?
I was really confused as where he was going to. Like, he gets off the bus, he walks outside for a while, and then he's like going under, like I said, some kind of underpass, which basically ends up leading to a parking garage. Just makes me like, yeah, where the fuck is he going?
It's just like, how far does this guy live away from his school?
And why is he going? If he's going through a parking garage, does he have a car parked there? If he has a car, why is he taking the bus?
Yeah,
like, it's really confusing. Like, what the fuck's he doing here?
This whole thing around Clay, everything is just
Cody,
pardon me, is just so.
You got Clay from Pool Party Massacre on your mind.
He is my
spirit animal,
spirit party animal.
Yes, he is. Anyway, Cody, yes, I agree.
Why
the fuck is he in this parking garage?
I didn't understand why he's there.
Yeah, there's no point to it. Anyway, so he can't see the person. He always sees the legs. The mystery person lowers its arms into view, and we see that has the giant elongated demon fingers.
The arms are kind of growing, and again, not bad.
Not bad.
Look, it's definitely got some creepy vibes to it.
Yes. At this point, the creature starts to come down the steps towards Cody, who turns and runs. He ends up running through an empty parking garage, which is also weird because I've never seen a parking garage completely empty.
Empty.
Not a single car in sight.
We don't know it at the time, but they're in L.A.
Yeah.
They're in L-fucking-A.
There's no way a parking garage would be completely empty at any given time in LA.
I mean, just completely, like, we're talking, he runs up several floors.
I will say it's the best lit parking garage I've ever seen.
Incredibly well lit. He's incredibly fast, and he goes from, like, the garage or street level entry all the way to, like, the third floor in lickety split time. And again, no cars.
No cars. None whatsoever.
In L-fucking-A. One of the most traffic-ridden places in the world.
But what does he find in the parking garage? Empty parking garage with absolutely nothing. He finds a cop just walking through the empty parking garage, not going to his cop car because there's no cars.
Sure.
Just some random uniformed cop just walking through a parking garage.
Distance in the parking garage.
So he chases down the cop looking for help. The cop stops with his back to Cody and then starts to whistle. The cop turns around to face Cody, and we see the cop is wearing a red bow tie and is smiling an unnormally large smile.
Real toothy, creepy grin.
Yes.
Whistling Chopin.
Again, Cody turns, runs away. He makes it out of the parking garage, where he then just sucker punches a homeless guy for pretty much no reason whatsoever and runs away. I'm like, what? He runs up the ramp, turns the corner, there's a homeless guy there, and he just like punches him in the face. He's like, oh, sorry, dude, and then just runs away again. I was like, what the
I
fuck?
felt bad for the homeless guy.
I know.
He punches the homeless guy. The homeless guy's trying to give him his wallet. He's like, I'm sorry. Just, you scared me. I'm sorry. And then he runs off. And I'm like, that's a really weird scene.
Yeah.
That scene really didn't need to be there.
Did not need to be. You can just show him running out of the parking garage away from the guy. You don't need to show him sucker punching a homeless dude.
Punching a homeless
Like, what's the social commentary on that? Like, why are we punching homeless people? I know. Like, get off our parking garages, homeless people. Punch. Like, what's
Maybe.
the point?
Maybe the Vang brothers just hate the homeless.
Maybe.
And they're just like, I'm so sick of the homeless being around all the time. Let's just have a scene where he punch one.
Yeah. Jesus. So, we cut to Alice. She's crying while doing yoga, which is odd.
That's some intense yoga.
That is some intense yoga. That's some DDP yoga intensity right there.
That's some deep cut yoga right there. We're gonna stretch your soul.
Yeah. So while she's stretching out her neck, she's looking from side to side, and on one of her head turns, she sees Bedeviled Slenderman demon thing, which disappears after she screams and falls back onto the couch. Her phone then starts laughing at her. She drops her phone, and that's when the lights go out.
Gotcha, bitch!
Alice grabs a fire poker, starts to slowly make her way through her blue lit house. Blue dance party!
I'm blue, da ba dee da ba die, 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 da ba dee da ba die.
So she heads up the stairs. Why, I don't fucking know. Like I said, hell, this is our theme song. She should be going out the front fucking door now.
Upstairs instead of out the
just
door.
Go out your phone is fucking laughing at you now.
Leave the phone and run, bitch.
The lights just went off, and you're going upstairs. Just go out the fucking door and leave. But upstairs, she finds her dead grandmother rocking in a rocking chair. So a dead grandma ghost leans towards Alice, smiling, and then lunges at Alice while screaming like, ah!
All creepy, yeah.
Alice holds up the poker to defend herself. Dead Grandma Ghost tackles Alice to the floor. They struggle a bit. Grandma Ghost starts choking Alice by pushing down on the poker, which is like against Alice's neck. Alice gets like a burst of energy, screams, pushes back against her ghost grandmother, then just disappears. Just
poof,
vanishes.
Gone.
Not even a poof.
Yeah,
not even good energy. It's just there, then it's not gone.
Hard
it's
cut
just
gone.
hard cut gone. Alice sits up, looks around, and now sees the bedeviled demon Slenderman thing, which also just seems to then just disappear too. We cut to Haley at the school's theater practicing her lines for some play in front of Dan. She's actually reciting lines from Shakespeare's Macbeth here. Poorly, might I add. Dan gets a call. Shakespeare is not easy, but Dan gets a call on his cell phone and tells Haley that something happened to Cody. So now we jump to the whole group sitting around a pool talking about what's been happening to all of them.
This is where they all kind of chime in.
And that whatever
And
this
the app is-
and whatever this thing is seems to know its deepest fears. And Dan's like, oh, this must be a prank. Cody holds up his hand and it's all wrapped up in a bandage, saying, "This ain't a prank."
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
you punched a
that's
homeless
exactly,
guy.
like, wait, hold on a second, Cody. You hurt your hand. Your hurt is not from any demon attack or any prank or anything gone wrong or attacking you or hurting him. It's from you punching a fucking homeless man for no reason.
It's from you being bad at punching.
Yeah, and for being an asshole. You punched a helpless homeless dude for no reason. That's on you,
And
Cody.
you got a boxer fracture. Come on, grow up a little bit.
So,
It's from when you punch with you should be leading with your two knuckles or sometimes just as flat as possible on your fist. And if you punch sloppy and you're leading with like your ring knuckle and your pinky knuckle and you hit on that end, it often will break the bone on the far end. There, it's called a boxer's fracture.
well, it didn't look like his arm was fractured. It just has his hand wrapped, not his whole arm, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thought it was just bruised. I didn't think it was even broken, but...
Anyway, little educational moment
there we go.
for you.
That's
Boxer's fracture.
And Aaron, brought to you by Aaron for once this week.
Yeah,
nice.
look out.
Allison suggests that Nikki was killed by this app. Cody chimes in, saying that maybe all their dependence on technology is manifesting their darkest fears. And I just point in my notes, I just put, what? Like, huh? Like, okay, as an audience member, we get what the premise is, but like, if you are these characters...
The leap is pretty big.
Like, yeah, like, how do you make that fucking leap? And what rational person would be sitting there going, oh, the technology is alive and is feeding on our fears. It's coming to get... Like, who makes that jump?
It's taking the audience by the hand and leading him if they already haven't got to that point.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly how to explain it. That's exactly, I just said it. You know, the movie's taking you audience member by the hand, is already reaching the point that you should have already gotten to. You should have already known, the technology is going to creep on him and And I'm already thinking to myself, okay, it's probably going to be some demon and this and that, But if you haven't got that point, they're going to help you.
Yes. So
it's so close to breaking the fourth wall. You know, it's pretty bad. They should just look at the camera like, is everybody on the same page?
wink, wink.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
It's like, God, you know what it's like? It's like that fucking, it's like one of these kids' cartoons my daughter watches, like Mickey's Playhouse or Clubhouse. It's like Mickey or something like, hey, can you help us find the tree?
Or Dora the
and
Explorer.
Then there's like they look at the screen, they wait and pause for like the kid to answer and go, yay! Or did you find the tree? Like, you did it! There it is! Yay! It's basically what this thing is doing right now. For adults.
Yeah.
It's bad. Alice goes on to say that this all started when they got the app invite from Nikki's phone, so that's where she's going to start looking. So Alice and Haley, they leave. Once they're alone, Haley then confronts Alice about her feelings about Nikki and how maybe Alice is reading too much into all this or some bullshit. I don't really know about this or care at this point what's going on.
Doesn't matter because it never comes back
Doesn't.
up.
It just makes Haley seem really butthurt and like over that because Alice and Nikki were apparently closer friends than Alice and Haley or something. I don't know. Doesn't fucking matter. Next, we jump to Haley, bent over her bed, getting pounded from behind while reciting lines from Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet.
Atta girl.
While a propped up cell phone records all of it. Afterwards, she tells Dan to delete the video. But when Mr. Bedeviled chimes in, talking about, hey, you know, amateur porn videos do really well. It's great. And they fucking ignore it. They fucking ignore it.
They're just like, that's weird.
Yeah. So, if you can hear that, that's Aaron rooting around our beer cooler.
Sorry, I'm looking for natty lights on the bottom. They're the coldest.
Dan ends up talking about how he's afraid of this picture of an old lady in his house. He tells Haley the story about some old lady, which had something to do with a child and a well
It's
or
like
some
his
crap.
great aunt or something like that.
I don't even know. I didn't even know who it was. I didn't even know if it was a family member at all.
I think it's supposed to be a family member, because why would you have a photo of a random woman from the village you came from?
I don't know. I don't know this movie. Haley then tells Dan that she's afraid of this ugly teddy bear she was given as a kid. And she
So, foreshadowing.
Yeah, well, let's have to get it all out there. Which I don't remember how they got to this conversation. Like, they're laying in bed talking about their sex. The sex film they just made.
They're in
sex
their
video.
Post-sex bliss.
And they're like, and then all of a sudden, yeah,
They
exactly.
start talking about their deepest fears.
I don't remember how that jump happened. Like, oh, we said sex. Hey, you should delete that sex video. Like, oh no, I'm gonna keep it. And then,
You know what's scary?
Yeah, but then like, hey, what are you afraid of? Like, what the fuck? Like, there's no lead into that. So yeah, Haley gets up, goes into the bathroom. Dan leaves. While she's sitting on the toilet taking selfies, because everyone knows that's the best time and place to take selfies is when you're sitting on the toilet.
I love when she gets up and he's like, where are you going? Gonna go take a shit. That's what she says. She says, gonna go take a shit. And I'm like, yes! That's so hilarious.
Girls take shits too, yeah!
Which is funny because we were talking about that way back at Slumber Party Massacre. And you know, it just seemed like right before sex, like, where are you going? I'll be joking, like, gonna go take a shit. You know, joking around about it. She actually says the quiet part out loud.
You know what? Maybe that's where they're taking it, because there's so many things from other horror movies that are in this, and maybe that's one of the small ones I missed, because maybe you're right. Maybe by some small chance that's a reference to Slumber Party Massacre.
I don't think it is, because they didn't say that.
Oh.
I joked about it.
Oh, I thought you were saying they said that in the movie. Okay.
No,
it's
but
been a long
in
time
this
since I've seen
movie,
that.
they actually say the quiet part out loud.
Okay.
Instead of saying something like, I'm going to go powder my nose, or I need to see the loo, or I need to go to the little girl's room. They're like, I'm going to take a shit, bro.
So, like I said, she's sitting on the toilet taking selfies
Yeah, she's
while shitting, because that's awesome.
she's that type of girl that calls you bro. Taking shits and taking selfies while taking
But she's also into Shakespeare. She's a worldly woman.
I want to know more about her.
Haley is
She's like, all these characters pretty one-dimensional, but I'm like, there's a little more depth there. She likes shit and selfies and Shakespeare. So 3 S's.
Yeah,
shit, selfies, and Shakespeare.
Hashtag the 3 S's. We're going to trademark that shit. Mr. Bedeviled starts talking to her and asks her if she would like to hear a joke. He says, knock, knock. And when Haley says, who's there? Someone bangs on her bathroom door. At first, she thinks it's Dan just fucking with her.
Cut it out, dude. Cut it out, bro.
Yeah. Haley leaves the bathroom, doesn't see Dan anywhere. She goes over to her closet, which is cracked open a bit. And as she gets closer to it, we see a giant elongated demon hand thing reach out, grab Haley by the head. She screams, stumbles backwards, falls under her bed. The hand vanishes, but we hear some lingering laughter.
Yeah, so it's like the intense buildup. Something grabs her. She scuttles back to the bed.
Yes.
You hear this kind of laughter, and then cut away.
Cut away.
And I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's like, right, this movie is...
There was something happening. That wasn't over. That was getting started.
This movie is the equivalent of the ultimate cock tease, the pussy tease. It's like, put the tip in, but that's all you're getting. You put the tip in and pull it out.
And that's
put the tip
it.
In, all right, when everything starts getting good, it cuts away to more bullshit.
I was like, okay, they did a good job of setting it up and being scary and the weird stuff and the head grab, and she gets away, she's on the bed, and they're focusing on the door, the creepy laugh, and then we cut.
Yeah.
Hard cut.
Yeah.
There's nothing that's like,
And it does it all the time.
it's getting started. It's not ending.
Nope.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's another. This is right when it starts, not the end of it. We cut back to Alice and Cody. Alice is giving Cody Nikki's phone, and he tells her that he'll try to see what he can find out by, I guess, doing his techie wizard magic on it.
You must master your dungeon quest. Solve the phone's problems. Sorry.
Then we cut to Dan, who's out on the streets. He stops to call Haley, but But the call gets interrupted by Mr. Bedeviled, telling them that Dan's video has been uploaded to Instagram. We then jump to Dan at the theater looking for excuse me, Jesus. What was that?
Those natty lights, or those Coors lights.
Coors lights got me.
Pardon me.
We jump to Dan at the theater looking for Haley. He finds her standing on the stage alone with her back to him. A quick camera shot of from the front shows that she has a large toothy smile on her face.
So it's not Haley.
Yeah. Dan stops, looks down at his phone, which is now ringing, and showing that Haley is calling him. The Haley on the stage starts to laugh. Dan answers the phone. A scared Haley on the other end asks him, "Hey, I need you to come over right now. I'm really scared."
Oh, no.
Dan looks up at Haley on the stage, which has now turned into the old woman from the picture that he's afraid of, who looks like a soggy, wet, bloated corpse.
Cool.
Dan runs for the exits, and the corpse lady just keeps like teleporting from one spot to another as Dan runs by.
He's running up the aisle, and he looks to the left. There she is.
Looks to the right. There she is.
Yeah,
looks up. She's on the balcony.
It was kind of cool.
But it doesn't matter because Dan makes it out of the theater, no problem. Like, nothing
he
really
gets
happens.
away, and it's like that is a good indication that the scene is over.
Yeah.
He gets out the door and gets outside. Okay, the scene's over. Instead of that scene we had earlier with the closet pushing the girl on the bed, and it was just over. Yeah.
Right.
But there was no indication it was over. At least
Right.
this was clear.
So we cut to the group. They're all together again. Cody tells him that he has managed what he has managed to learn about the Mr. Bedeviled app. And this is where I'm going to play our first audio clip because I'm not writing down all this technical bullshit that he's spouting off, and I just didn't care enough at this point to do it. So I just recorded the clip of him explaining what he's figured out about the app. So follow along and try to figure this out.
All right, here's what I got, guys. The app keeps a log of everyone it infects. Names, emails, IP addresses, phone numbers, everything. See, I can see everything is all there. I just can't decrypt all of it.
Well, whoever created it had to have a server, right?
No, it's decentralized. Like BitTorrent or a virus, the app itself is the server. And I can't decrypt all of it because it keeps changing its private key. I've never seen anything like it. I was running background checks on all the phone numbers and IP addresses when it encrypted again. But look at what I got. So all of these people downloaded the app. And the list goes on.
What I want to know is how the hell can an app make us hallucinate?
We're not hallucinating.
This thing feeds on our fear.
It wants us to be afraid.
I left my phone at the theater last night, found it back on my desk in the morning.
I tried deleting it.
Well, we can start with the person who passed it on to Nikki. The IP has him registered at this address. That's about 30 miles from here.
Thanks, gang.
Yeah. So did you get all that?
Thanks,
Because,
Scoobies. Thanks, Scoobies.
Because I didn't. Did any make any sense to you? Because either way, it's bullshit that we're fed, in my opinion. And it doesn't fucking matter. I guess it's supposed to matter, but I just didn't.
I'm not
care.
tech enough to know that it works, but I'm like, okay, fine. I've seen enough like bullshit CSI TV shows. I'm like, whatever. Just get us there.
Just, we don't care. Just get that.
Just get us there.
So at this point, Gavin says, "Screw this!" Throws his phone down, stomps the shit out of it. The screen breaks, and we hear what sounds like cries of pain as the screen flashes.
The
like
Bedeviled is going.
And it's like those color bars you see on TVs, and then the Mr. Bedeviled app logo. And then the cries of pain are replaced with laughter, and the phone magically fixes itself, goes back to factory defaults, I guess. Off to brand new.
Those Samsung phones can take a beating.
Yeah.
Because we talk about product placement in the last couple podcasts, at least 2 or 3 of our podcasts. Samsung is heavily featured in this one.
Yeah, it was like this. It was like this phone might have been made by Timex. They keep it licking and keep on ticking. Keep on ticking. Later that night, Gavin's lounging around on his bed, and he gets a call from Alice, who tells him that she needs him to come over. And okay, at this point, this is where I said it earlier. I wasn't going to start earlier, but I'm starting now, and you'll probably get some more of it. But at this point in my notes, I'm like, I'm sorry, but I would think that after all this shit that's been happening, and after them watching a cell phone cry in pain, laugh, and magically fix itself, and everybody's like, oh, the app's killing people. these fucking dum-dums would just stop using their phones. But no, they keep using them. And that's what blows my mind. Like, if they're saying, like, oh my God, this app's killing us, and the phone, it's in their phones, and I broke my phone, and we saw magic fix itself. Stop using your fucking phones. Just stop. But they never do. Ever.
They don't. That's pretty stupid. I agree.
Use a landline.
One thing also I don't like either is they saw the phone get stomped, the laughing, the maniacal, that's like, okay, yep, we're all on board.
Yep.
This is an evil app going to kill us. And they're like, bye.
Bye. Yeah, like,
let's all separate.
Yeah, not safety in numbers. We should stick together.
I get they're high school students, but I mean, there's safety in numbers.
Yeah.
The boys should stay together. The girls should stay together. At the worst.
At the least.
At the least. Instead of all of them staying together in some way, shape, or form. Because guess what? There's no fucking parents in the movie.
There really aren't.
You see, like, Nikki's mom in the background once.
Yeah.
And then, you know, Alice's mom leaves a note saying, eat this leftover sloppy spaghetti. I'm going out and getting some.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
right. The parents are nowhere to be seen.
Nowhere to be seen. So why the fuck not? You know, let's just put them all together.
So, of course, Gavin agrees to come over. He rushes over to Alice's house. He goes inside, finds the house empty. His phone rings. It's Allison, who's basically tells him, like, come closer. So basically, like, a game of, like, hot and cold or some crap like that.
Yeah.
Gavin wanders around the house, which is filled with, guess what? Blue light!
Good God.
Dance break!
I'm blue,
It's just so much blue light. There's so much blue in this movie.
They never turn on the lights. Ever.
Never. That's another thing. They don't even try. They're like, oh, lights are out. I guess
lights are out. I guess we're fucked.
I guess that's it.
I guess I gotta wander around in this dark blue light everywhere.
We can't live without our cell phones, and apparently we don't know how to turn on a light switch either.
Turning on lights is so lame.
Ugh, that's so 1980s. So yeah, you want around blue light. He finds a red balloon floating in the room. So now, like I said, we're ripping off it.
Very it.
That's all it is. Gavin walks right up to the balloon, which it pops in its face. After it pops, Gavin finds himself face to face with a demon clown. I guess more it there, but Gavin turns, runs through the house, up the stairs.
More clowns.
Once he up the stairs, all the doors on the landing begin to open, and evil clowns coming out of each door. And then the movie just, again, fucking cuts away to what I guess is the next morning, and Al's pulling up out front of the house.
So she's getting chased by clowns. He's like, oh no, and he goes upstairs, more clowns, and it's not like he's backed against the wall and the clowns are closing in and they fade away.
No, he could easily run back down the stairs.
Yeah, it's just like he's just kind of like, oh, more clowns, and like, oh boy, he sure looks like he might be fucked, and then cut.
Yeah, and it's
cut.
That's totally. This movie is a giant cock tease. It's all it is. It's just
because I'm like, okay, something's finally fucking happened, and here he is. He's gonna fight these clowns, or he's gonna get killed by the clowns, or something like. We're gonna see something happen.
You see something? Nope. So Alice enters her house, sees Gavin sitting in a chair, looking out a window with his back to her, which we've seen a bajillion times already in this movie. She slowly walks up to him. When she gets close enough to him to see something, like see his face, she screams, and then the camera just cuts away again to a shot of Gavin holding his cell phone and the Mr. Bedeviled app laughing on his phone.
I guess he's dead.
I guess you don't even see his face. You just see Gavin's hand holding a cell phone, and she's screaming. Bedeviled app is laughing. Cut to Gavin's dead body being rolled out on a gurney.
Yep, I guess he's dead.
Yeah, I guess he's dead.
Sure.
As detectives interview our 4 remaining characters who are now all at the house all of a sudden, which I don't know why they'd all be at the house.
So the posse's there.
The posse's there. Alice tells the detectives that she was with Haley last night. When she came home this morning, she found Gavin like that. I'm like what? Like what? Like
we don't
what?
know. We don't
what?
know.
We still have no idea what fucking happened to Gavin, how he died. What was he like? Please tell us, movie. We don't fucking know.
Yeah, you're holding our hands on so much shit, and you're leaving us in the dark on so much, like, the good stuff. The good stuff you're leaving us in the dark on.
Like, did he die from like the Joker gas from the first Batman movie, where
He's got the weird smile,
he dies with a big smile on his
or like
face?
the girl from The Ring who was in the closet all wet and deformed,
Yeah.
and you saw just a quick
and
shot
the
of
face
that.
all, the face all
But
distorted.
man, talk
afterward.
about an iconic scare. Just something quick and easy to do. I mean, that movie was PG-13, but that scared the shit out of me. That scene.
No, I'm glad you bring up Ring now, because I was going to bring it up later, but I'm do it now so I don't forget. If we want to talk about movies, and I guess you could kind of relate this because it was VHS tapes, so but still in a way kind of technology with the Ring.
Similarity with The Ring.
But that one did it right.
Yes.
Like if you're gonna do a stupid technology horror movie, and I guess again it's paranormal horror technology mix, I guess, which so is this. That one did it right. Granted, that was a PG-13 movie. This one I think is actually R, which I don't get why. Maybe
really don't get why.
Maybe the sex scene and maybe there might be some
the
F-bombs.
sex scene's in the background.
Yeah,
and you can't see
you really don't
a
see
butt,
much.
a nipple, or anything.
Yeah, you don't even. Yeah, she's
it's
wearing a shirt when it happens.
Short.
Yeah, it is short. But The Ring did it right. That's like the one techno-paranormal horror movie genre movie.
Knocked it out of the park.
I think did it right. There might be some other ones out there that I haven't seen, but that's the one that does it right. So anyway, the cops leave. The group sits around and talks about how and what they have to do something. Like, oh, we got to do something now. What are we going to do? Alice wants to know if Cody still has the address that he found linked to the app. He says, yep, I got it.
Let's go.
So, cut to Cody and Alice going door to door.
Should have done this 20 minutes ago.
Yep. Should have done it like 3 days ago.
Yeah, 20 minutes in the movie, 3 days ago in the actual timeline of the movie.
They break into the house. Like
they do.
They start breaking and entering into houses at
They're
this
knocking
point.
on the door, and it's like, no one's home.
Oh, they'll just break in.
Well, this is where the signal came from. More tech, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. Okay, well, so they just break
But
in.
they don't explain. Like, I want to know how the fuck you would track it. Like,
I just don't care.
Without having, like law enforcement level technology forensics, like to track down, like I don't know how a high school kid on his fucking laptop is going to track down IP addresses at certain addresses.
Again, I don't care because he's the quote unquote tech guy. So I'm like, cool, tech guy, fine.
Whatever.
Tech guy got us there. Just get me there.
So the two of them snoop around this house, find it very empty, except for a cardboard cutout of Abe Lincoln for some reason, which I thought was fun. Like the house is like bare bones. There's nothing in the drawers, nothing in the fridge. There's like barely anything there. But a stand up cardboard cutout of Abe Lincoln.
Abe Lincoln at the end of the hall.
And the black guy finds it.
And he's like,
another
all right,
race?
Abe.
Yeah,
He thumbs up Abe Lincoln.
I was like, is this another race thing we're getting shown? Like, what the fuck is with Abe Lincoln? That was with anything in this movie.
So weird. It was such a weird choice.
This is the oddest thing.
Abe Lincoln?
Abe Lincoln.
Is this guy really into history or Civil War? Like a friend of ours had a Marilyn Monroe cutout out of a gag. It was just stupid, and she was just like showed up here and there. It was kind of funny.
Did we steal it too?
Yeah.
we stole put it in the
you
old
guys
apartment.
still have it. Yeah.
I remember we put it at the end of the hallway of the old apartment. We would like decorate it with stupid shit. Anyway, yeah, Abe Lincoln. I don't get it. Don't know why.
Fine.
But then, thanks to some mail they find lying around, they find out whose house it actually belongs to. Which Cody just so happens to be a man that was a substitute teacher for one of Cody's classes.
Doesn't matter.
Cody says was a pseudoscience nut. What the fuck that mean? It doesn't matter.
Because it never comes back again.
Nope.
Still doesn't matter.
So the two of them head into the garage. In the garage, they find a body sitting in a chair covered with a bloody sheet with a video camera set up pointing at the body. They also find a voice recording.
It's creepy looking.
It is creepy looking.
It's well shot. It's well done. It is creepy looking. It creates a creepy vibe.
I will give you that. The man in the recording says that he'll be using digital technology. He'll be using analog because like this thing corrupts anything digital or something like that.
He basically is saying this is a ghost or a poltergeist or a demon that has come through the app, and once you invite it, it's attached to you.
Yeah. So again, I'm saying fuck. Again, I just want to play the clip because I have the clip of this recording because I'm not gonna try to explain.
Fine.
This fucking
but the thing is,
mumble
it's like,
jumble.
I felt this coming at the first 10 minutes of the movie. You know, I was like, oh, that's exactly what's happening. So.
Right. But here's what the
and again, it's kind of that situation. It's that same time of, if you don't know by now, the movie's going to help you.
I can't tell you. So yeah, here's the clip of the pseudoscience substitute teacher trying to explain the app or what it does or something. Figure it out for yourself.
August 23rd. By the way, I'll be using analog. This thing seems to corrupt anything digital. Now, this Mr. Bedeviled is a paranormal entity, much like a ghost, demon, or poltergeist. You see, they and us are all made up of energy, which is why EMF recorders, EVP meters, infrared cameras, they can detect their presence. Now, our technology is a two-way street. We can discover them with it, but they can also use it against us. Now, I have come to conclude that it is not the app itself, but uses it as a gateway into our dimension. It's like inviting a spirit through a Ouija board. Once you download the app, you are cursed, and it will not stop until its victim is dead.
So as you heard the audio clip at the end, it starts to distort at the end of it, and as soon as it says,
the victim is
dead or something like that, the body under the sheet, like the head on it, kind of drops down a bit, and then Alice screams really loud.
They get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, and that's it, and that's basically it. We cut to Dan entering the police station where he wants to report 2 murders. He tries to explain to the cop at the front desk that this app is killing people. The desk cop doesn't believe him, and rightfully so. He goes on to say, what are you kids on these days? And then starts writing off a list of various drugs.
I love it. I was like, I want to hang out with this cop. What are you on? Goofballs, poppers, cocaine, skunk, dunk,
scallywaggers, and skippity dobs.
Yeah, he just starts making up words. And I'm like, I like the way this guy thinks. But then you see
while he's writing, this cop's running through his list of drugs, we see the cop's also drawing on a notepad, and he's drawing like the
V for Vendetta symbol.
Yeah, the Bedeviled logo. Oh, and also from out of the blue, which they don't explain how this happened. Like, I don't know how in real life this would even happen, but
just poof, he's got the red bow tie.
He's wearing a red bow tie because it doesn't just manifest. He's not there at first. Dan's looking right at this guy the whole time, and then it cuts away to the pet, and it cuts back to the cop. He's wearing a red bow tie. So I'm thinking, how in real life, how does that happen? Does this thing how does that magically just appear out of nowhere? Does it slowly like fade into existence? Like, how is Dan seeing this red tie?
Does it grow like a flower?
Yeah, does it bloom out from his collar? What is going on with this? But he's wearing a red bow tie now. And it just manifests out thin air.
And he gets frustrated and he leaves.
Well, the cop's anger rant goes on, and climaxing is the cop yelling at Dan about Facebook, technology, and then how he's going to kill them all. Dan flees the police station as the cop laughs.
And this, I didn't mind the scene, but it should have been Cody who did this. It should have been Cody who went to the police because he has a fear of police, right?
You could also argue he has a fear of police, so he wouldn't go to the police.
But he's still going to the police for help. But it just would have made more sense.
Well, there was a scene where they were all together that I think they were talking about. Now they can't go to the police because they're not going to believe us. Because Dan's like, we need to go to the cop. And they're like, no one's going to believe us. We don't have any evidence yet.
I still think it would have held more weight.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So we cut to our 4 main characters having a 4-way conference call on FaceTime or Skype. And again, either way, these dumb fucks still using their fucking phones after all this.
Sure.
Still using them. At this point, I'm like, these idiots deserve what they're getting. At this point, you fucking deserve it. You're just fucking morons. They're all talking about what they should do next. I have an idea. Get rid of your cell phones. How about that for an idea? Problem solved. Or at least, maybe not solved, but certainly help out. You haven't tried it.
Let's troubleshoot a little bit, shall we?
And even like, well, Dan said, I left at the theater and it showed on my desk, and I was like, you know what? If it shows up, don't use it. Don't use it. Just ignore it. Yeah. Just stop using it. After the call, we go to Haley alone, and guess what? Another blue lit house.
I'm blue,
So she arms herself with a kitchen knife and slowly makes her way to a kid's room, which is weird because like, whose fucking room is this? And I guess she's supposed to have a younger sibling now we've never seen.
And again, I want to comment really quick. These homes are gorgeous.
Yeah, they're definitely high end, like suburb, super rich area of LA.
All these kids are living in gorgeous homes.
Yeah.
And again, we talked about it.
Except for Cody, maybe. Because he's going to buses through parking garages.
No idea where Cody lives. But Jesus Christ, these houses are gorgeous and beautiful. And there's no parents ever around.
No parents anywhere. And yeah, but like I said, this one apparently has a kid's room in it where we see a rocking horse rocking by itself. She rushes out of the room, and this is when the laughter starts. A lamp breaks on the floor, and we see a shadowy figure darting around in the shadows. Haley runs upstairs, finds herself staring at the ugly, raggedy teddy bear that she was so afraid of as a kid. Only now the teddy bear is alive and laughing at her. The teddy bear charges at Haley with his arms stretched out. Haley rushes into the bedroom and calls down her cell phone. Now, I get that seeing a creepy stuffed toy come to life would be a bit shocking and a little scary. Sure. I get that, but come on, it's still just a stuffed fucking animal. Haley could easily just punt this thing, send it flying, or better yet, she's holding a giant fucking kitchen knife, stab the shit out of this thing and rip out all its stuffing or something. Why are you going to arm yourself with a knife and then not use it? Like, I have a knife, but I'm just going to...
Last resort,
forget. I forget.
Last resort. I got no problem with it.
It's a fucking teddy bear.
It's still scary. I got no problem with it.
Ugh.
She's like a 98-pound woman. Girl. Really.
And it's like a 3-pound teddy bear.
Still.
Fine.
I would probably hide from it. Come on.
As she begs Dan to come help her, the call is taken over by Mr. Bedeviled, who calls her a whore. She tosses the phone down, and that's when the door opens up, and standing backlit in more, guess what? Blue light. I'm not.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Okay, not this time. But backlit more blue light is Mr. Bedeviled, Slender Man, demon thing standing there.
Still looking creepy as hell.
Then ripping a page out of Five Nights at Freddy's playbook, the stuffed teddy bear pops up right in front of the camera lens. Blackout. You're looking at me weird.
Not scary.
Not real scary.
Like, I'm like, okay, there he is. And then you're right. He pops right up in the screen. But it was like, it just looked kind of hokey.
Yeah.
But at least Five Nights at Freddy's, it pops up and it's like wiggling all crazy and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Like, it just popped up and it was static.
It's always like, hello.
It was just like holding still. It's
Yeah.
like, it was more like, hi. You might go, huh. At least the Five Nights at Freddy, it's like, it has a creepiness to it. Yeah.
I agree. So now I think the movie goes back in time here because we cut to Dan running down the sidewalk and we clearly see that it's still light out. Even though the last scene we saw with Haley, night had fallen.
Nighttime.
So I don't know what's fucking going on now.
And was he running to go save her?
Or was he just out for a jog?
Because he looks like he's out for a jog and he kicks some debris and he's like, oh, darn.
But then like if he's supposed to go help Haley, he just comes to a stop and I guess he decides,
maybe
fuck
he
it, I'm not going
heard
to.
it all on the phone. He's like, oh.
She's dead. I can
that
just
bitch
go home.
is dead.
Go get a gelato or something.
I'm gonna go back home.
Like I don't know. Like
homework.
he just stops and goes.
Doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't make any sense at all. Because now we just cut to Dan back in his house, looking at the picture of the old Japanese lady that he's so afraid of.
Ooh, but this lighting is green. This is green, creepy lighting.
I'm green, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die, dabba dee dabba die.
Only time they switch up the lighting.
Yeah, you're right. I think this is a little green here.
It's definitely green because I noticed it. It was like, oh, it's green lighting, and that would have been an interesting choice. I don't know how cool it would be or not. I mean, just off the top of my head, but each different person has a different fear. You know, the green waters of whatever for the drowning victim one. The cop one, maybe blue. Someone else have like a darker orange, a darker purple, a darker red. There's more light to play with than just fucking blue.
Oh, you said blue, the magic word.
I'm blue, dabba dee dabba die, 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 dabba dee dabba die.
This is not Pee-wee's Playhouse, Marshall. If I just say the word blue, that doesn't mean you have to play that song. And everyone goes, ah! It's not the magic word. You're getting crazy with this. I might have to commandeer this podcast. All right.
I know, Dan
he's in green light.
He's back in green light. And behind him, we see the shadowy silhouette of the old lady ghost demon or whatever the fuck it's supposed to be. Dan turns around, sees it, falls to the floor, scrambles backwards. And then we see the black, elongated hands of Mr. Bedeviled wrap around his shoulders. Dan's eyes go wide, cut to the smiling old dead lady's ghost face. Blackout.
Gone.
That's it. That's it again.
We just have these creepy moments, and it's like, where's the payoff with the girl? Nothing. Where's the payoff with the guy? Nothing. They do a great job of building it.
Yeah.
And there's no finish.
Nothing. All right, so now we cut to Alice waking up on the couch on a bright, sunny day. Everything looks, it's like zippity-doo-dah, birds are chirping, it's beautiful. She's startled awake by a dream flash of all of her dead friends dressed in black, wearing red bow ties, leaning over her and smiling.
Creepy smiles.
Yeah. As soon as she wakes up, Mr. Bedeviled starts talking to her through the phone. And again, I have my notes. Why the fuck are they still using their phones? Get rid of them. Jesus.
And when she has this dream, she wakes up and she's basically like, yep, my friends are dead.
Yep.
She's pretty much gotten past it pretty quick.
And so now she turns the TV on and it's like she's watching like a televangelist or something, like talking and ranting about social media and other shit. And I said, at this point, I just don't fucking care anymore. All I do know is that he ends up saying something about teaching fear and then going into like a laughing fit. Like, I'm going to teach you what fear is, or you'll learn fear. I don't know. I didn't care.
It felt like they were trying to steal from the remake of the 2004 Dawn of the Dead. When the preacher gets on there and starts talking about how, you have sinned against God and, homosexuals and abortions and not turning away from God. It's like the televangelist. And it's the guy who was in the original Day of the Dead, or Dawn of the Dead. The original Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, was
the
he
black guy?
Was he the same guy from that one?
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Never realized that. Sorry.
Yeah, so it was, that's what it felt like to me. I was like, okay, now you got this evangelistic,
the doom speaker, doomsayer.
Thank you. Yes.
Anyway, so now we jump to Alice and Cody together. He's told that he might have come up with a way to remove and uninstall the app. Again, I'm lost all my care to try to explain what this
firmware.
Yeah, I get that a lot. So again, we're just gonna play this clip. This one, Cody explains the removal process. So here we go.
Remember how the app encrypts itself all the time? Okay. I was able to find that Samuel had been working on an algorithm that could detect this change.
So what does that mean?
That we can probably contain the app and uninstall it.
Like a spyware removal software.
Exactly, but at the firmware level. If we erase the app from our phones, we take away its ability to latch itself onto us. And Samuel's code was incomplete.
Then how do we get it to work?
Not a problem. I was able to finish it up. Unbedeviler 1.0.
So then why can't you just uninstall the app from your phone using Unbedeviler?
I tried it, but it changes itself every time I try to uninstall. But when this thing comes into our world, it has to connect to the phone's hardware. I'm going to use those connections to bring it down.
Are you sure this is going to work?
No.
So
Fair enough.
Yeah,
is it gonna work?
No. So there's that. Sounded like a bunch of bullshit technical version of Nightmare on Elm Street to me when they tried to like pull Freddy out of their dreams. It's like that's basically what they're doing here. It's just a technology version. We're gonna pull him out of the app.
Yeah.
Just like we're gonna pull Freddy out of our dreams.
We're gonna be able to get through this.
So now Alice and Cody arrive at they come into this old abandoned warehouse, which is where they have decided to make their last stand.
They travel and they show how they travel across town to get specifically to this abandoned warehouse, which happens to have electricity and Wi-Fi.
Which again, I don't understand. Yeah, I don't get that either. Like, there's nothing that special about this warehouse. Like they need some kind of machine there. They're gonna crush them and stuff. Like, they could have done this at their fucking house. I mean, we all know their parents aren't around or never around. So
they try to explain it away as, this is the creepiest place I know of, and it's got long hallways for running away.
Oh, that's right, because we have to be scared, so we have to find a creepy place to do this. That's right.
What might be scary for you may not be scary for me. You
take the good, you take the bad, you take you both, and there you have the facts of life. The facts of life.
You knew where I was going, baby. That's why we work.
So, yeah, but that's a great point. This abandoned warehouse has not just electricity and lights, but it has fucking Wi-Fi too.
Like a good Wi-Fi
like,
signal.
Really good. Like, not like cheap Wi-Fi, like good, like 5G or something like that. So they rig the place with security cameras too, like GoPro security cameras all over the place. And they go over their plan, and then they decide to split up. Cody stays at one of the monitoring areas to watch the camera feeds on his laptop, while Alice goes off by herself. And then they have, like, I hate this scene so much. It's like very forced to me. It's like they're trying to force feed us some emotion. Like if we're not attached to these characters yet, they're trying to force us to be attached with the last possible minute.
I want to be a writer.
Because like, oh, they started this hard. I'm like, I want to go to college. I decided to go to college. I'm not going to be afraid of myself anymore. I'm going to be a writer. Like, you think you can handle that? It's like, yeah, I think I'm going to be a writer. I've always wanted to write. Like,
shut the fuck up! You're about to do battle with a demon.
Like, who would have this conversation? Like, you ready? Like, all right. I'd be like, what are we talking about going to college? If this is you and me, like, okay, let's go over the plan again. Let's keep going over the plan. Okay, I'm going to go here. I'm going to wait. You got this right? You got this right? Yeah, all right,
it'd make more sense if it's like, man, I'm kind of fucking scared. It's like, okay, well, yeah, you're supposed to be scared. Okay,
yeah.
let's get,
No, I'm going to go. Let's have a hard time about going to college and our aspirations. Like, it makes zero. It's so out of place. So out of place.
It's like, the only analogy I can really think of is sports off the top of my head. Like, you know when you're going to go do, like, you're going to go play a fucking team sport, or, like, when I was in high school, like, wrestling. Before a match, I'd get fucking nervous. I'd be like, oh, God, like, all jittery and like, okay, here we go. The
good nerves.
I'm going to wrestle this guy. I'm going to fight. Or getting on stage. Getting on stage and doing, like, a play or doing a presentation. The butterflies, that nervous energy.
Yeah.
Like, I can imagine that being just compounded 20 times when you're going to, it's basically a life and death fight with this demon through a phone app. Booga, booga, booga. And they're just like, I don't know if exactly what I'm going to do for college. I might do pre-med, might write. I'm not sure. What do you do? What do you think there, Cody?
And then they go from that, and then he starts fantasizing about fancy coffees and cappuccinos. Like, I could really go for a mocha latte verde and blah, blah, blah.
And you're trying to get scared so you can manifest this demon, and they're just talking about the most
mundane, run-of-the-mill, boring shit. Like, that's like, I was like...
Maybe that's what's terrifying. My life is so boring.
Like, if they're trying to get scared, what they're doing is the opposite. They're calming themselves down instead of working. It's so dumb. It's awful.
It's really weird. It's a bizarre choice.
So Cody tells her it's here. Cut back to Alice, who sees her dead grandma demon contorting in front of her.
Doing weird contorty things.
She runs away. Cody tells her it's working to stick to the plan and hold on.
Because now from what I understand, from what I gathered from the techno-babble, was that when the demon is manifested and is interacting with the person, it's too distracted from the app to give Cody the chance to delete the app.
Yeah.
So he's trying to delete it, ergo, basically lifting the curse.
He's exercising it.
Yeah. He's lifting the curse from Alice. So he's going to lift the curse
off of her phone.
Yes, and lifting off of her by proxy.
Yes. So this leads to like the cat and mouse hide and seek scene between dead Granny and Alice. And in case you guys were wondering, yes, everything in the warehouse, the entire scene is all shot in blue light.
Don't.
I'm blue,
Oh, I fucking did it!
You son of a bitch.
Anyway, Cody's frantically typing on his laptop while trying to guide Alice through the warehouse through the video cameras on his laptop. Which I don't know how he does that, because when we see a screen, his entire screen is filled with like code and like type.
Well,
so where is he looking at the cameras at?
That's a good point. But I mean, they went through the process of showing you.
I know they setting them up. I get that, but like, how is he seeing?
Yeah,
them?
he doesn't have multiple screens.
It's one laptop, and his entire laptop screen is set with like this is decoding program. So how is he? What's he looking at? How is he guiding Alice around?
Your guess is as good as mine.
So the dead granny demon corners Alice. It tells her, "Ready or not, here I come." The granny demon smiles a toothy grin and lunges at Alice. Cut back to Cody, and we see the flashing on his laptop screen. Removal successful.
All right.
He tries to radio Alice to tell her he thinks it worked. This takes us back to Alice, who is still has dead granny demon standing over her. But Granny seems to be frozen, unable to move. The granny's making these weird noises.
Your phone is frozen.
You might as well make like the old like dial-up internet connection.
That would have been fucking hilarious.
I wish it would. That would have been great. And then Granny begins to like pop and lock and do some like isolation dance moves, and then just fucking vanishes from sight.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Granny basically with this frozen weird face, and it's not like twisting or breaking and contorting in ways that are unnatural.
No,
it's doing natural popping and locking. You know, it's like
she's popping and locking, and then it's also I learned through So You Think You Can Dance, the TV show, which I watched with my daughter. There's a thing called isolation dance. It's kind of like a combination between like robot and popping lock, only it's just like it isolates just like very specific parts of the body. And that's what she's doing. She's popping lock and isolation dancing, and then she just vanishes. She's just gone.
Yeah.
That's the last you see of dead granny demon thing. So Cody tells Alice that his computer is telling him the app is no longer on her phone, but he needs her to check it out. So Alice pulls out her phone, cries, smiles, and tells him it's gone. Cody starts to dance and celebrate, but then he notices something on his computer screen. He radios back to Alice and tells her that it's coming for him now. He also tells her that he needs her to get to the second station because she's closer. So Alice races off through the blue lit warehouse.
No.
No.
No. I will come at you.
One more.
I will come at you.
Fine.
All right.
Blue lit warehouse.
I'm blue, I've been deed, I've been died, 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 I've been deed, I've been died.
So yeah.
All right.
So
That really is the last one.
That should be the last one. She gets to the second computer monitoring station they've set up earlier with another laptop. Alice desperately starts typing in code on whatever, and gives Cody a rundown of the progress bar, the little time bar.
84%, 85%. Yeah.
When it reaches 90-something%, it freezes and a window pops up saying that the
Blocked.
program has been blocked. Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Turns out that Cody's own firmware is blocking the progress. At least that's what he thinks.
My firmware. Oh, it's keeping my so I don't accidentally delete an app I don't want to. I have to be there in person, and I'm fooled by my own guardian.
Yeah.
I don't know.
At least I think this right. So he said something about firmware.
Yeah, he dropped firmware again.
Alice asks if there's another way. He says no, and seems
Nope.
like at this point he comes to grips with his own fate. Like
He seems very comfortable with the
I'm
fact
gonna
that
die.
he's
Yeah, I'm
gonna die in this giant abandoned room filled with blue light.
Blue light.
No. We already said no. We already said no.
God damn it! All right,
Not happening.
all right. So yeah, Alice turns, runs away. Cody starts to walk away from his computer station. The lights go out. Mr. Bedeviled shows up whistling like Negan now. Cody drops to the floor, crawling backwards, and then Mr. Bedeviled appears and reappears behind Cody. Cody turns around, sees it, starts to crawl back the other way, and now we finally see Mr. Bedeviled in all of his glory. He is creepy looking, yeah, I'll give him that, but
Should have been left in the shadows.
should have been, but I got a very Who Framed Roger Rabbit vibe when I saw him. Like, because for some reason, it reminded me of like Christopher Lloyd at the end of Roger Rabbit when he goes like full cartoon mode.
I see it
You know
now.
what I'm talking? Like the
Yeah.
big eyes. It's like,
Yeah.
that's fucking Roger Rabbit shit right there, man.
And a voice just like this. The daggers come out of his eyes.
That's exactly what I was thinking, man. The camera zooms in on Cody's face. He screams, blackout. Cut to Alice running into the room. The lights are back on. She sees one of Mr. Bedevil's long hands retract behind some concrete column.
Off into the shadows.
Yeah. Alice then looks over, sees Cody lying down on the floor. She drops to her knees, cries over his corpse as sweet piano music plays. Fade to black. Cut to Alice and her mom talking over FaceTime or Skype. And we see that, we see time has passed because Alice is now...
She's in a dorm room.
She's gone away to college. She's in a dorm room. Mom asks her if she's made any new friends, and Alice just says she has Milton and Chaucer to keep her company. So I guess we're just assume that Alice is refusing to make new friends because she's traumatized over all of her other ones being killed, and she's scared.
Following her dreams as a writer.
Yes.
Studying Chaucer. I took Chaucer in college, and god damn it.
You took a whole class on Chaucer?
Yes, I did. Canterbury Tales.
I get, but an entire class?
Yes.
I get like part of like English 1 or Lit 101, but not an entire
this
class.
was like a 400 level class, so it was up there. But god damn, that sucked. If you're reading Chaucer as a freshman, fuck you. I was a senior. I was reading Chaucer.
So, Mom tells her that she's coming to visit next weekend. Like, yay! And then Mom says, start wash, and the washing machine turns on. I was like, hey, how'd you do that? And Mom replies saying, I downloaded this new app. Check it out. Lights off. The lights go off. The screen goes dark, and we hear Alice screaming, Mom! Roll credits. That is fucking Bedeviled. That's the fucking.
I just
movie.
wish Mom would pop back up and be like, "Bitch, this is ADT. This is the new app from ADT. I don't do that bedeviled shit."
Yeah. I'm in my 40s. I don't know what new apps are.
I know. You know what I know? ADT. Simple security device.
Yeah. Calm down, bitch.
You're that weird, like, Southern lady. Calm down, bitch.
All right.
So that's bedeviled.
Yeesh.
Yeesh.
So, all right, let's. Yeah, yeesh is 100% correct. Let's move on to this week's favorite kills.
So many wonderful kills to choose from, but you can only choose one. Them's the rules, Puddin'.
All right, Aaron, this is going to be a shit show. What do you pick? I don't know, but you're up first. I'm glad it's you, not me, going first.
There's none.
Yeah.
There's none.
I know.
We never see anyone get killed.
Yep.
We never see any gore. No,
Yep.
no gore.
Gore.
The only gore we see
Is the blood-covered sheet?
is a blood-covered sheet with a possible body underneath it.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
God damn.
Yep.
This movie. So I'm guessing I'm going to go with what scene led up to a probable death. That I thought
we
was
have to use
cool.
our imagination, I guess.
Exactly.
I
I'm
don't know.
going to use my imagination on this one. I'm going to go with the first one. Nikki dying in the beginning, or
Yeah, Nikki.
the lead up to Nikki dying in the beginning. Sure, why the fuck not? Doesn't fucking matter because you don't see shit.
No, and honestly, the funny thing is, I agree. That was the thing I was gonna pick. Same thing. Like we see none of the deaths, nothing's seen. There's no gore, and I agree. Like in the first one, like we've seen a lot of times in movies, the lead in the cold open kill is like that. You see, it's a cutaway, and it builds up to something later. So I'm like, okay, I'm on board. I get it. I'm fine. This part, I'm still fine with the movie. Like, okay, fine. This could be creepy. This could be good. And then afterwards, it just got shitty. I'm like, oh. So at that point, my hopes were still up. I was like, all right, I'm like, good.
Right.
So I agree. The first one was Nikki because it's just a giant downhill slide the rest of the way. And it's so, you kind of touched on it too. Like, this is such a reverse. How, like, we've seen a lot in like some of the 80s movies. Like, I think Happy Birthday to Me was one, or some other early ones. But you see like the cutaway kills,
yes.
where you see like the knife coming, scream, scream, cutaway. But you know what? At least in those situations, a lot of time you at least see the post-kill effect. You see like, okay, you see the knife in the head, you see the threat.
Yes.
You don't see the actual actor, but you see
Yes.
what happened. And this one, you don't get any of that.
You don't-
They don't
no.
see anything.
Uh-uh.
It's just
No.
a big fuck you. It's like, I'll save the rest of this for my closing thoughts. But that was so. All right, there we go. We're both picking Nikki for this week. Let's move on to odds and ends.
Hey there, Puddings! Not only did Mr. M and Mr. A watch this movie, they researched it too. And they say I'm the crazy one.
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.3 out of 10.
Wow.
Rotten
That's
Tomatoes.
pretty high.
Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes, no thermometer score, but it has a 20% audience score. And Amazon gives it a 3.1 out of 5. Trivia. Take this for what it's worth.
It's a newer movie, so it's hard to get like trivia.
Yeah, well, even that, it's like there was nothing there, and I don't even know how, if you really say it, but supposedly this is loosely based on the Slender Man urban legend, which, is that even an urban legend? Because I was under the impression that's just a fucking video game, not an actual urban legend, unless some dumbass millennials are thinking like, oh my god, this video game is real. Like, I know they think they made a movie called Slender Man, I haven't watched it yet, but I've never heard of Slender Man as being an actual urban legend. It's just a video game. But that's all it was. It was a video game. I don't know.
I have no idea. I cannot speak to Slender. I don't know anything about Slender Man mythology, where it originated, what it is. I don't. I'm very clueless to the Slender Man thing.
I heard Slender Man from the game. Like, and I've heard a lot of urban legends. You know, it kind of kept up on that because urban legends, in my mind, were much more of a thing when we were kids before the internet disproved everything.
Sure.
So urban legends, now it's like there are already no urban legends left.
That kind of goes.
That's what I'm thinking. Are people making this video game into an urban legend, trying to make it more than it is?
I don't know.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know where the video game thing is coming from.
It was just a horror, like a tiny little independent horror game where the first one you just walked around a dark park picking up pages of a notebook, and a Slender Man would pop up every now and then going, oh, and it would be like, then you just go stacking your dead. It was like, okay, whatever. Right. But then it became a big thing, and now people are like, oh, Slender Man, it's real. I'm like, It's like saying Candyman is something real, you know, like or I don't know.
Sorry. Speaking of Candyman,
okay.
Do you know they're making Jordan Peele is going to be doing a reboot of Candyman?
Oh, gee, is he really?
Yeah, and you know what? I'm actually very excited and very interested to see it because
interesting.
So far he's been knocking out of the park, man. He's doing great. And at first, Tony Todd was he was like, I don't know, but once they go, Tony Todd, you're going to be in it, baby. Don't worry. He's like, I'm on board.
Speaking of other horror movies, did you also hear that they're making a sequel to The Shining and a sequel to It as well? So Stephen King is getting his due.
Well, I knew there was. Well, It is a two-parter. The It story itself is a two-part story. There's the part when they were kids, and then the part when they were adults. So it's a two-part.
All right.
Series.
I haven't seen the new one. I just remember the old miniseries when we were kids.
Well, the miniseries covered when they were kids and covered when they were adults. And the
right,
movie,
but I'm saying,
did you see the?
No, I haven't seen the new movie.
Oh,
yet.
you haven't?
No, that's what I'm saying.
Oh,
I didn't know if they were.
This is not a surprise.
Okay.
This was planned.
The Shining surprise is definitely a surprise. I'm like, really, a sequel to The Shining, huh? I'm like, I'm not sure where that's gonna go or how that's gonna be, but
yeah, I mean, the sequel to The Shining. I mean, do they follow the kid who goes Red?
Yeah, is the Red Rum Kim fold up, or is it gonna be some new family that The Shining now is somewhere else?
Are they gonna have?
Is it at a different hotel now? Is it gonna be the same? Still gonna be the Stanley Hotel? Like who knows?
Shit, what was the name of the actress who? It's not Shelley Long, was it?
Margaret Kinner? No, not Margaret Kinner. What's her fucking name?
It's not Lily Tomlin. It's not Shelley. Was it Shelley Long? Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Long, I think, was a blonde.
Wasn't it Shelley Duvall, though?
Maybe.
It's Shelley Duvall. Are they going to have Shelley Duvall's old ass out there? Jack Nicholson's like, this is my last movie. I got unfrozen. I'm coming at you.
I'm not frozen to headface anymore. Anyway.
I'm curious where they're going to go with that one.
Budget, I can't find any budget on this.
I like how we started talking about other. As soon as this movie's over, we're talking about other shit right away.
Yeah, no budget, no other trivia really worth mentioning. So let's just go straight to 5-star reviews.
Is this your guilty pleasure? 5-star reviews.
There are 5-star reviews on this one.
There are
some sad individuals out there.
There's 43 total reviews of this movie. 30% of them are 5-star, or 26% 1-star. So it's pretty split, pretty evenly.
Pretty much even. And then the thing is, all right, go on.
All right, so from Alyssa B, titled "Look Out, Bixby and Siri." I don't know what Bixby is, but Siri. Nowadays, you can't find really good horror movies that are actually scary. The idea behind this movie is original, and the storyline was focused on keeping the viewer engaged. With this movie, it wasn't the music and the emphasis points that made me jump. It was the creepy characters and their creepy, menacing grins. So creepy. 5 stars. From J Paradise, good movie, just not a movie I would watch again, but gives it 5 stars.
Asshole. Yeah. It's you. It's motherfuckers like you. When people like tune in like, well, it's got a pretty decent rating, maybe I'll watch it. It's assholes like that. It's like, I wouldn't watch again. That's a 3-star at best, asshole.
Well, leading to that, next brings us to Solmar, who writes, was okay. 5 stars.
God damn it.
And
if you're going to take the time to make a ranking, speak from the heart, man. Yeah. This isn't just liking people's pictures on Instagram. It's like, oh, it's a good picture. It's a good picture. It's a good picture. There are several. There are subtle levels. There are levels.
There are 5 levels you can choose from.
Yes.
Last one from Hello. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen, and I love it.
What?
If you go into it expecting a genuine scary horror film, you will be disappointed. However, if you're looking for a hilarious, corny pile of garbage akin to The Room, then you will probably get some enjoyment out of this. Awkward line reads, clunky dialogue, abandoned plot threads, inept story, social commentary. This film has it all. 5 stars.
Fuck that review.
Yeah.
That's the worst type of review because we do that shit. That's our whole podcast is based around so bad it's good. And god damn it, I'm not getting it from this fucking movie.
I agree.
There's way better schlock out there that's so bad it's good.
No, this is not,
What an asshole.
I agree with you on that one. All right, so moving on to the 1 stars. From Christopher Metcalf, fill an ice cream cone all the way up with ketchup and take the biggest bite you can out of it. It was kind of like that. 1 star. From Anthony Paschal, it was so boring. I thought it was a Lifetime movie. 1 star. Excuse me.
Can dig that.
From Leonard B. Corso. Stupid in every way possible. Uses every idiotic horror cliche in the book and fails to have a point, a story, or any entertainment value whatsoever. Do yourself a favor and watch anything other than this streaming pile of garbage. 1 star. From Isabelina Gonzalez. I don't even remember buying this. 1 star.
It's like her kids.
Yeah.
What's a scary movie? I'll watch this. She's like, God damn it, kid.
And lastly, from Schoff, S-H-O-F-F, Schoff, titled Utter Ethnic Trash Plotline.
Whoa. Where are we going here, Schoff? I don't know if I like this.
What's sad is that in 2017, this is the best some people came up with to a new horror and real life action emotion, ? Oh, the typical, hey, LMAO, I'm a black guy who isn't racist, but I got to let everyone know this while calling out white people. But as long as I get my white girl moment and Abe Lincoln, I'm fine. Oh, hey, I'm the other forced white hookup, a stereotypical Asian who fears something that has to be Asian. The chick is scared of a stuffed animal, then like 30 dots. Andy Barclay would literally want to shit on her pathetic acting and roll like the rest. Quote, oh, let's be original. Yeah, killing the MC boyfriend no less at the start of the film just for the black guy. Well, I defied horror films. So much crap. And I finally got to the part among all the other modern day solutions where the crap and even though oh my God, sorry, this is horrible writing. I finally got to the part among all the other modern day solutions that were crap and even thought just to end at the part where the 2 last survivors start making flirts and laughs from one another. After of all what happened, only watch this to be confirmed by these words so we can crap on the face of people who want to crap out a cash SJW minority pandering terrible film. 1 star. That guy has some serious writing problems. That was hard to read.
Yeah, he just sounds like he wants to rage against social justice warriors. And I get that, but you got to clean up your thought process, man. It seems like someone forgot to take their bipolar meds that day. They're in a manic state, and they're just like, God damn it, I hate this movie.
All right, so that's what other people thought. So what do we think? Let's bring it to final thoughts, our final closing remarks. Aaron, take it away.
There's a lot from this movie I actually didn't have a problem with. It was shot clean. It was shot very clean, very, it seemed to have, I guess there was no budget.
Yeah, I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
So,
because I was about to say, we totally glossed over that part.
I mentioned that we didn't have, I didn't have it. Yeah.
So, it had to have some budget behind it. It was very clean shot. It had it had the standard, drone shot in it also, but even though they exhausted, and don't you fucking touch that dial, the blue lighting, they exhausted it. But it still looked creepy. It created mood. They had a lot of things going for it, and they had a decent idea. Don't get me wrong. It's bound to happen. Someone's going to make this movie, an app that can, fine.
Honestly, I think it's already been made before.
Sure,
this one.
It's all set up there. But you don't deliver on any of the goods. You have they had a great setup. It's like going to the White House and getting fast food. Which is exactly what our president has done. You have all the ambiance, you have all the pomp, and everything's great, but when it comes down to it, you're eating shit. That's what happened. You don't have the payoff. Everything's pretty. Everything's good. You have the disposable characters that can act well enough to get, at least get you from one hump to the next. Give us the gore. Give us the kills. Give us the special effects. And you have none of that. None of it. None whatsoever. If you gave me good kills on top of this, I'd say so bad it's good. Don't get me wrong, it's got its problems, it's got its holes, but because you don't give me anything, you don't give me even a goddamn taste of gore, of violence, of a kill, of a fight, of a stab, of an axe, of a knife, of a sword, of a fucking it doesn't matter. Nothing's there. Fuck this movie. So bad it's scary.
Well, I don't know if I can really follow that with what yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100%. I will say the opening scene with Nikki and the blue light,
it's a great setup.
This movie makes me blue. I'll say that. At first, like, oh, okay, it's because there were some camera scenes in the lighting, like, oh, this is really, atmospheric. It looks, the blue light was it was a pretty blue. I was like, okay, I like it. But then, Jesus Christ, did they take one good thing and just ride that shit into the ground?
Yeah.
Like, there are things that are blue that shouldn't have been blue at all. But everything you said, I agree with. Like, the devil, demon, creep, Slender Man thing looked creepy until the Roger Rabbit part.
Yeah.
But that was good. Like, there was some creepiness there. That was fine. I get like you're right. Someone's gonna make this turd of a plot. Take this. Like, the premise is it's gonna get made certainly, and it's probably gonna be made a bunch more going on in the future. It's probably just gonna get more. It's been done in the past. I think there was like one where there was like a video game was killing people or a camera was killing people. I don't know. It's weird shit.
But like we already kind of touched on, the Ring did it really well, but it's still.
It could have been better. Like, just give us. It needed more.
You know what I would love to see?
I wanted to see the kills. I wanted to see, or at least the post-kill mess. Like, I want to see what happened to these characters, not just, oh, okay, they're dead, move on.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like.
You don't see anything. Yeah,
which makes it like, okay, if we're supposed to get at all it's any kind of attachment to these characters, which you really don't. I mean, maybe Alice a little bit, but otherwise, like, it certainly doesn't help when we kind of basically disregard their death scenes as such basically a throwaway napkin effect. Like, oh, who cares? Throw it away. It makes it less. Makes the characters seem even less substantial.
Oh yeah, Haley. Oh yeah, she's dead. Now we're moving on.
Yeah,
it's like, oh, she is. I never saw her.
Yeah, and they don't even comment on her death. Like, okay, they just stop more.
I forget the Asian character's name.
Dan.
Her or Dan. They're just like, oh yeah, they're dead now.
They're dead now. Like, okay, well, it was to be expected. Let's move on. I can't really say. I don't think I can say much more to say than what you already covered. So I agree with you again. So bad, scary for this one.
You know what I would like to have seen? Something like when the teddy bear is running after her, and it just would stop and then just grow into this monstrous, evil, horrible, sharp-toothed creature bear stuff.
That would have been cool.
Like something like that. It's like, okay, okay, creepy, weird little bear running at me, and then it's like, oh my god, it's grown into this like a physical.
Then I wouldn't have any problem with her hiding into a room. That'd been awesome.
And then see her fight with it kill her, she loses. Same thing with the crazy, creepy like water lady. Like she's just like, she gets crazy and like grows fingernails or teeth or something. Maybe
honestly, I would have been okay if she vomited up water into Dan's mouth and made him drown that way. There's something
perfect, like, something. Give us something.
Yes. Instead, it gave us a giant cock tease and left us with horror blue balls.
I mean, I'm telling every motherfucker about this movie. Do not watch it because your balls will be so blue.
Blue!
Good night, Moon Goons!
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy that lives in a blue world. And all day and all night and everything he sees is just blue. Like him, inside and outside. Blue his house with a blue little window and a blue Corvette. And everything is blue for him and himself and everybody around. Cause he ain't got nobody to listen. I'm blue, da da dee da da.